Hello everyone, this is Lat the Redeemed bringing you another play to win in free to play for DH Games Infinite Magicraid. Today, I think we got an interesting challenge in front of us. We've had 3 episodes where we're kind of just exploring the basic elements of the game and getting about as far as we could get. We have 2 starter heroes that are both epics. They came for free. That's Christian and Eden, a healer and kind of a DPS shield kind of character. And now we're a little bit stuck. So we've gone through, I think, 4 chapters. We've opened up the arena. We've opened up dispatch and some other basic skills. But we need to summon some new heroes. We need to try to get some more epics to build our team. And with a little bit of luck, maybe we can get a legend. The good news is that there are some events which are on our side, the most important of which, there's a couple. The first is double the legend. This says whenever we get a legend from any wish pool, we'll get a second legend for free, only on the first time, but still a 2-for-1 is a good deal. And then second, there's an event going on with wish goals, where the more wishes we make and the more points we spend, the more extra goodies we get, including some of these hyper valuable eggs and scrolls for skills. So we're running into a couple of barriers because of our lack of heroes. The first is we're stuck on dispatch. So you see, like, this is a nice dispatch, a 5-star, we would get an egg, but if I try to deploy, I don't have the heroes to fill it. So that's one problem. And then the second problem is that we don't have enough heroes now to really make much progress in the campaign. So we're not doing bad. But to move on to the next campaign, we've got these quests that this lines up very nicely. We need 10 excellent wishes. So let's go over here to the wish and let's start using up some of our wishes and see what we can find. So first I'm going to go ahead and use our refined wishes. Again, these are for fodder. In an extremely rare case, this may yield an epic, but it's less than a 1% chance, I believe. So this is all just stuff we'll use as fodder. Let's get these out of the way. That's good. We got some 3-star and some 2-star. Those are among the better fodders. All right, so I'm going to leave these 2 refined wishes. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pull those right now. Wait until we have 10. So excellent wishes. So we have a total of 40. And it says if we pull 48 more times, we're guaranteed to get a legend. So I think we need to make sure that we get another 8 wishes on the excellent wish before the event runs out in a couple of days. That should be relatively easy, but I'm going to go ahead and pull all of these wishes right now. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get a legend already, but we're definitely going to get some epics. So let's see what we get. Alright, so we got 1 epic on this 10 pull, and who is this? This is Melassa, a poison specialist. Let's take a quick look at what Melassa could do for us if we choose to level her up and invest in her. On her basic attack, her A1, she deals 160% damage to a single enemy with a 40% chance of inflicting a layer of poison for 2 turns. Poison takes 100% attack damage of the inflictor each turn before action. In other words, so you stack these up, you can stack it up to 10 times, and it hits the recipient of the poison before their turn. It's good, and it works best if you've got multiple poisoners on a single team. So depending on what all we pull, we may put Melassa in the mix. Let's see what's on her active skill, her A2. So here she does 180% ATK damage to a target, as well as 2 random enemies, with a chance to inflict poison for 2 turns on anyone she hits. So again, here's another opportunity to add a stack of poison. Same as the other. Let's take a look at Melassa's ultimate. So deals 420% ATK damage to a single enemy and inflicts 2 layers of poison for 2 turns. So this is a pretty good, 420 is pretty good for an epic to a single enemy. I'd like to see some AE here, obviously, but you usually want at least 1 person on your team that's a specialist at single enemy. they work best against the bosses. And this, it's not a chance to inflict poison, it is 2 layers of poison for 2 turns. So that can really add up. So I kind of like Melassa. Let's take a look and see what else we get in our pulls to see if we get some support for us. Everything else is 3-star, which is the bare minimum you're going to get off of this type of wish. So these are going to make excellent fodder and help propel us forward more quickly. On our second pull of 10, let's see what we have. Oh no, did we get another? I think we got a duplicate already. So this is another Melassa. So this won't help us right away, and it might be tempting to use her as fodder, since a duplicate isn't immediately useful. However, a little bit later in the game, once we have ascended Melassa, if we invest in her, then duplicates are what are required to give her this exclusive weapon. So for her, it's Spear of Toxic. If we feed her her own duplicates, then we, at level 1, we increase the chance of poisoning by 60% on her skills, and so on and so forth. In other words, she just gets better and better as we push the duplicates to her. So that may play into whether we decide to use her or not, the fact that we have a pretty clear path to expanding her capabilities. The second hero we got is, I think this is AC? Yeah, AC, IC, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So IC is another poison champion, and also does AE damage. So for IC, his poison isn't as extensive as it is for Melassa. On his basic attack, he deals 180k attack to a single enemy with a 30% chance of inflicting poison. So he does a little bit more damage to a single enemy up front. He's got a pretty nice AE here on his active skill. He does 180% attack damage to all enemies. However, there's no additional poison on this, so it's kind of a nice boom, but it doesn't have any secondary effects. And Icy's ultimate is increases his, or sorry, not look at his passive. Oh, he's 2 passives, right? So let's look at his first passive. He does damage to all enemies when he dies. Yeah, I mean, this is okay in certain types of environments, but you hate to invest in Icy early on as sort of your main carry hero, because he's generally going to be the last one to die if you do that. And so this passive becomes somewhat useless as far as its value to the party. If he's not your carry hero, this can have value in certain kinds of content, especially in arena, where heroes are dying all the time, and being able to do like a quick burst to AE, it could help, but I don't think it's a super strong skill. And the same thing here with Cold Blooded. Increases his attack for 2 turns whenever a hero dies. This, I believe it can be whether it's on your team or on another. It's not terrible, but it doesn't really support this poisoning capability of him. And his AE at 180%, it's pretty good. I've played AC on a different account. He's fine as a carry early on, but I don't think he's who we want necessarily to invest in. But let's keep pulling and see what other options we have. So we have enough for 20 more wishes. So let's pull 10 of them right now. Our epic here. Wow. I don't know that I've seen this. I don't know if this is either the luckiest pull or the unluckiest pull. I think I'm gonna go with the unluckiest pull, as we pulled a 3rd Melassa. Now, if we invest in Melassa, this will allow us to get up to a level 2 Spear of Toxic, which will trigger poison, more often. Okay, that's good. I'll take it. But it really doesn't help us in the early game, because it does take a while before we'll see Melassa ascending. All right, so our last pull for the moment, who do we have? This is Lutz. Lutz is a debuffing AoE. He's an attacker of the blue mark. Let's take a look at his skills real quick. So a single target, 200% damage to a single enemy, has a chance to reduce speed by 20%. Speed reduction is always nice. It helps your team get out in front. His secondary, his active skill on a 4-turn cooldown, is just a straight 180% ATK damage to all enemies. So he's very similar to Icy in the way his A1 and A2 is set up, in that one has a reasonable chance against a single target of having an impact, and the A2 is just sheer DPS. His passive is an extra piercing rate. So piercing, take a look over, see if it's over here. Yeah, piercing ignores target defense at a certain proportion. So if you're up against sort of heavily armored foes with a high defense skill, then piercing can help you carve through that and unmitigate some of the damage that would otherwise be avoided. And then his active skill deals 220% ATK damage to all enemies with a 40% chance to reduce speed. It's not bad. 220 is a fairly decent amount of damage. Speed down again helps your team get out in front. Might be a decent partner for Malasa. Let's see. So if I find 8 more of these excellent runes, then I'm guaranteed to get a legendary. And if I do that within the next couple of days, I'm guaranteed to get a free second legendary. Unfortunately, I don't have any right now, but like I said, in the early game, they come pretty quickly, so I'm confident that we'll be able to find some before we absolutely need it when this timer runs out. Alright, so let's go back and let's get our dispatch running. You saw before I was unable to run it because I didn't have enough heroes, but we just pulled a bunch. So before I start doing anything, let me get these filled out so that none of them expire. And then let's evaluate what we want to do and who we want our carry hero to be. And I think we've got 3 reasonable choices. All right, so everything is dispatching. Let's take a look. Right, so up here on guild. So we joined a guild. The guild is called Cabal. It's actually a guild that's made up of some of my characters and characters of some folks that I know. It's not very big right now, but we're always looking for new folks. So if you want to join, just search for Cabal. There's no entry requirements. It's pretty chill. But we got some of these activeness points. So one of the advantages of being in a guild is some of the things that you do on your daily quest give you these points. These points give you free stuff during the week, including these 2 scrolls, which are highly valuable and are not that hard to get. So I highly recommend being in a guild. I'm not going to worry about the guild boss right now. Take a look at the challenge. So in this, the reason we want to do the challenge, as you can see, first it gives you some decent gear. This is a free leech piece. Leech gives you 10% health back for all the damage you do. This one's actually not too bad. It has crit rate on it. The healing effect is not the best. But the good thing about this is if you get all 100 points by doing all 7 days worth of quests, and you have more than 7 days to do them, then you get Space, who is a legend, turn meter healing specialist, useful, and once we get her, I think we'll probably find a use for her. Alright, so now the chapter is completed because we pulled the wishes that we needed. We'll take this loot, and now this will give us access to the next chapter so we can continue the campaign. Let's get this stuff out of the way, take a look at what we need to do. Similar kind of thing. We need to clear 6.5 and 6.10 under common mode. We need to upgrade a hero skull a couple times. We need to craft a 4-star hero. We need to enhance equipment, 3 more pieces of equipment to level 8. And we got to claim quick auto drop rewards 1 time. Let's just go ahead and do that. That will satisfy that piece of it. We level up a little more stamina upgraded. So now let's go take a look at our heroes and let's decide. First of all, we have my quality that'll show us our epic. So we want an epic team, and so with the team of 5, well, I'd say we're gonna have Christian. Christian does AE damage on his ultimate skill, so I think that's on a 5-turn cooldown. Yeah, 5-turn cooldown. If we skill it up, it can get down to a 4. We've got Eden, who will be our turn meter in heals. She's got this. Her heals are also on her ultimate. 8% of max hit points for all allies grants a layer of heal for 2 turns. Heal is a little heal over time. Gives 5% back to everybody each turn before action. And then she's got this skill that increases everybody's attack by 20%. We've got AC, which does a little bit of poison, and he's got kind of a decently chunky AE at 100% damage on a 4-turn cooldown that with skill ups can get down to a 3-turn cooldown. Then we've got 3 copies of Malasa. Malasa's AE is a little less AE than Icy's. It is, we can target single enemy. Sorry, her AE is here on her active skill. 180% to a target and 2 random enemies. So in wave combat where there's more than 3, we can't really control where it goes other than the first. But against like boss fights, if we target the boss, we're guaranteed to hit. Well, it doesn't have to be 2 random different enemies, so they could all strike at the same time. We do have this nice poison on it, kind of like Malasa. And then Lutz is very similar to, he's kind of a carbon copy of Icy, except for he has this speed decreasing capability. So I don't think, you think about this. So I don't think I want to make Christian our carry hero. I like Christian quite a bit. I think he's a valuable add to the party. The shield is nice, especially because we only have the 1 healer in Eden. But I don't think his damage output is quite high enough at 120% with a small chance of inflicting stun. And then 240 attack damage to all enemies on a 5-turn. I don't think it's quite strong enough that he's going to be our carry. Eden's a healer. We want to invest in her, but I don't think she's going to carry us. Icy, I think because his 2 passives, this one doesn't really help us. If we make him the carry, I don't know how this helps, because if he dies, everybody's already dead anyway, and we've lost. And then this passive, whenever someone dies, he gets a little bit stronger. That's not terrible, but I don't know that it's it's spectacular either. So it kind of comes down to Malasa or Lutz. Lutz has the advantage of the AE damage, which is good. It is full on to everyone, and he reduces speed. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Malasa. I think I'm gonna go with the poison. She won't have like the raw nuke him down in one wave. Well, that's a good point. No, I'm going to go with Malasa. I think I could make a strong argument for Lutz, for being able to blast things down. But let's start with Malasa. We're not going to send anybody right away, so the investment's not that huge. We're just going to be looking for who are we going to 5-star to get started. So the first thing we want to do is let's go over to the crafting hall and let's start crafting out some of these pieces. So you can see we've got quite a few 3-stars, so that's going to allow us to create some 4-stars, and we'll probably get enough to bring at least one of the heroes up to 5-star. So you can see we're going to be making quite a few 3s, quite a few 4s. I'm not going to consume epic heroes, but it's free reign on these sort of blue elites. Right. So that's what results. And now if we quick craft again, then we can actually get a 5-star. But I don't want a 5-star yet. I want to go because I don't have any 5-star heroes to try to ascend. So let's come over here and let's make Malasa into our. Actually, I don't do that here. We do that in crafting hall. So let me find Malasa. And she is right here. And then, so it will pull 4 of my 4-stars that I made, their fodder, and this 4-star egg that I have. And boom, Malasa is now a 5-star hero. Just out of curiosity, I don't know that I want to pull the trigger on it quite yet, but do I have enough fodder? I don't. See, if I try to craft Lutz into a 5-star hero, it's going to use my 2 4-star Malasas, and I don't want epics to be fodder quite yet. There will come a time, I think, when we either have enough copies of epics, or we know that we're never going to invest in those epics, that we'll start using them for fodder, but we're not quite there yet. So but one other thing I want to do is now we need to outfit our team, and also I want to level them up a little bit. If I send them out at level 1, they're just gonna get killed. So let's let's go over here and let's see. Do I have? Let's take her halfway. Let's just max level her out. That used a good chunk of my experience potions, but that's okay. Those are fairly easy to come by. Let's take Icy up about halfway, and then let's take Lutz also about halfway. Alright, so that really depleted my potion stockpile. However, we'll get them back, and we'll also gain experience as we go through the dungeons sort of naturally. So let's start with Malasa. Let's take a quick look at what it recommends. It's recommending attack, effect hit, and mastery. So let's talk about that a little bit. Attack just affects her direct damage. This effect hit affects the increases the odds that her poison is going to stick. So depending on the stats of the opponent heroes that we're fighting, they can resist her poison effect. And since so much of her DPS comes from that, that's really not what we want to have happen. And then Mastery increases the damage dealt by the dot debuffs, so her poisons get stronger and stronger. So we want to try to find gear which provides skills and stats in all of this. So we don't have a lot of choices for skill, but let's see what we can find. So we have attack gear, defense gear, hit point gear, crit, leech, and healing effect. So we don't care about healing effect. We only have one piece of leech, so we're not going to mess with that. So sort of attack is going to be our main option. So we're going to look for attack gear that, well, I don't think we're going to have a lot of choices. I would say we'll hope for something that has the stats that we want, but I think we're just going to be luck of the draw. And I hate to invest in some of these pieces because they are so weak. So we'll just kind of get by for now with whatever we can find. And then for boots, let's see. Let's try to make her just a little bit faster. Speed is the default impact on her boots. Gave us a crit rate. That's not terrible. It impacts direct damage, though it's not as good as effect hit or mastery would have been. Go ahead and equip that. And we don't actually have an accessory. So let me see if I've got. Maybe I can put. I guess maybe I'm better off putting just hit point gear on her. And here's one. So we'll swap out these boots. She won't be quite as quick, but at least it has some effect hit on it, which will give us just a little bit, 2.6% effect hit on a 100% scale. And then which one of these or the accessories? So we got attack and hit point rate. We've got mastery. So we'll go with the mastery. We'll just level this up to 4. We'll get a little bit less hit points because it's 2-star gear versus 3-star, but this is really, really short-term stuff. As soon as we find something better, we will definitely go for it. So I think we've already done Eden. Yeah, Christian's already equipped. Icy, I want to say Icy is probably, we're looking at attack, maybe effect hit. Let's see what they recommend. So attack, they just recommend just sheer straight out attack for Icy, even though he also has the poison. I think that's fine. I think crit rate would be useful too. So let's see what we can find. Let's put these boots on him, and then this isn't bad. It's got speed as its first attribute, so we'll give him this chest plate. And again, the only reason I'm taking him to level 4 is because it is so cheap. and we get a little bit of a base stat boost. I'm going to put crit rate gear on him for weapon and accessory because I think crit rate does help your sort of direct damage dealers like this. Defense, mastery, effect, hit. It's not my favorite set of options, but I don't know that we're going to have anything with attack. Plus, the weapon itself has attack on it. So let's enhance this up to level 4. So it got a little bit more defense. Not an ideal skill for him, but not terrible either. Every little bit helps. And then what do we have? We have a speed or an HP rate on the accessory. So let's go ahead and take the speed. So this will give us more hit points, boost the speed up a little bit. That's always good for survivability. And then last but not least is our lizard. And attack, crit rate, crit damage. So he's fairly traditional from a damage dealer. We've used a lot of our attack gear already, so let's see what we can find for crit rate gear. So we'll take those crit rate speed boots. The weapon, no stats on it, but it's 3 stars, so we'll take that. Neither of these are fantastic, but let's just double up his crit rate gear. And then we've got some options on accessories, so we can get some crit damage, or sort of nothing. So I think I'd rather do the damage than the speed, so let's see if we enhance this. Maybe we'll get lucky, and when we get to level 4, we'll get some extra crit rate. Now we got defense. Not the best, but again, this is all super temporary stuff. So now we're fully outfitted. It's not great gear, but it is gear. So let's go. Let's clear off some of these boards real quick. Ooh, there's 3 more. Remember, we needed 8, so we're just 5 short now. Get some gems. Get some more gems. Get another egg. There's 3 more. Now we just need 2, and we'll get our first guaranteed legend. And then a 4-star egg. Very nice. So good set of pulls. Moved us along the path there. Let's go on and go to stage 6. And let's just run maybe the first level and see how this team looks in practice. Again, I don't really groove on the fiction, the narrative of the world, so we'll just start at 6-1. This is, we need to make sure we get all 5 members of our team. So what we have for this team, it's not horribly balanced. I would prefer just a touch more debuffing, because we don't have much there. So we've got Christian, who does damage, but has that really nice shield, which helps the party. Eden helps keep us alive. Melissa is damage and has that big heal dot, which I think is going to be helpful, especially against boss mobs. We get, why can't I remember, whoops, I can't remember his name. I'm just going to call him Lizard Man for now. He's direct damage and more direct damage with a small chance of poison. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more control, though the speed reduction on Craig is not terrible. So let's just run a fight and then see how it does, and then I think we'll wrap it up for this episode. Alright, I'm going to let it run on auto, times 4. We'll skip the narrative. So Christian gets in, he wipes out the first wave almost in 1 hit. Icy comes in, does about half damage. And then, I don't know, was that Craig who blew them away? Wave 3, when we're, most of the AEs are gone, it's still, overkill. So we got the 3 stars, which is what we wanted, right? I don't want to have to do these early levels any more often than I have to. Though I will say, that said, later on we'll open up a part of the game that allows us to essentially trade stamina for eggs, but it's not open to us yet. So in the meantime, the most efficient way to get eggs, to turn your stamina into eggs, is to actually fight in Chapter 1, Sword Harbor, Stage 1. It costs you 4 stamina. It works out, I think it's something like 6.3 stamina per 1-star hero drop. So if you're looking for fodder and you haven't opened up anything better in the game, it's not a terrible place to burn off some of your stamina to try to get some hero drops. So that's as far as we're going to go in this episode. So I do thank you for sticking around. We're a little over 30 minutes, so just a touch on the long side. But I think we covered some good stuff. We went through some of the heroes you might see if you're pulling your own epics. I went through with you how we build a team, how we think through what the team can do, and how we choose a carry hero. Even though I think you could argue between 2 or 3 of the choices for carry heroes, and we'll just have to see how things go, and we'll make adjustments based on what we learn. So again, my name is Lat the Redeemed. I do appreciate you spending time with me on this reviewing this video. If you liked it and enjoyed it, then please click the like button. That's really helpful. It helps YouTube make sure that the right people are seeing the video. And then if you like this and want to see more in this series and more videos that I do, including on other Infinite Magicraid topics, then do subscribe. It's free. It costs you nothing, and it really helps us out. So with that said, have a good day, and we'll see you again next time.